we all know this, right, it's permanent. We don't remove it for fear of, it's a safety issue.
Okay, is there any other board comments or questions at this time? Thank you, Chief. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on the matter? And if you could just state your name and address when you come to the microphone, try to keep your comments directed towards the board and as brief as possible, just to get through everybody.
Thank you. My name's, excuse me, I'm getting over a terrible cold, so you'll have to bear with me. My name is Alex Vagilatis, live at 4500 North Bartlett. That's the house in the northeast side of the intersection of Kensington and Bartlett, or as we call it, Ground Zero. I appreciate the petitioner's concern about traffic along Kensington down to Newhall and how difficult it is for them to exit those alleys. I'm not a lifelong resident of Shorewood, but I've been here long enough to remember when there was on North Oakland, there was a empty grass lot on one side and a failed gas station on the other. Within a very short time, the two big condo developments were in Ravenna and Cornerstone. At that time, with the accompanying retail businesses, I'll keep the street for premise. At that time, traffic on Kensington increased terribly. It was ridiculous. My wife and I, and neighbors at the time, complained to the village. We took photographs of cars parked as far as the eye could see, both ways, east, west, north, south. We sent examples of all the trash that was in our yard. That's never been relevant here, I guess. The issue is not really the parking so much, although removing parking spaces on both sides of the alley, now the infamous alley east-west, would help visibility a lot. The real issue is traffic congestion. We love those businesses. We patronize them. It was pretty obvious to us in the beginning that no one really made allowances for the extra traffic that would be generated by these businesses. All that traffic funnels down Kensington Avenue. It helps if you think of Kensington like the Mississippi River. There are big tributaries and small tributaries, but whatever size, they all empty into the Mississippi. The alley we're talking about on the north side, that's the ingress and egress for the condo zone for Ravenna. So people are leaving, they're going, I'm sorry for all the directions, they're going south as they leave, turning on Oakland, Kensington, they're turning off Kensington, headed to their parking garage. That just adds to the traffic congestion at Kensington. Alley on the other side, there are businesses, homes, apartment buildings, lots of traffic from that alley coming north and having to turn left right in Kensington. The real problem is it's a quality of life and a safety issue in Kensington, and we've said this to the village for years. Come down almost any night, starting Wednesday night, when the businesses are really busy. Cars parked on both sides of Kensington at the 1700 block. There is absolutely no way for two cars to safely pass. They try, you watch them all the time. It's sort of a dance of danger. Often, there'll be one or two cars on either side trying to enter the 1700 block. Nobody knows what to do. It's dark. It's dangerous, folks. Add the fact that people are trying to pull in and out of parking spaces on the north and south side of Kensington, as you've got people coming in. It's just untenable. Somebody's going to get badly hurt. Yes, sagging mirrors are a favorite target. But I'm not aware of any major accidents, but it's really an awful thing to watch. I joke about it. It's not safe. It's not safe. The quality of life in the neighborhood has decreased quite a bit because of this traffic congestion. It seems that we are providing parking and traffic for the businesses that were built, and again, we love these businesses, without a lot of planning, forethought on the part of the village of what that would actually look like and how it would affect the neighbors on each side of Oakland. Yeah, and the traffic is bad down to New Hall and beyond.
Can I just clarify? Because
Please.
we'll need to wrap it up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I promise.
Okay. So are you in support of the petition to limit parking to one side?
Absolutely. I wasn't aware of the petition, but I would say eliminating parking would help a lot. Parking, there was no parking on the south side of the 1700 block of Kensington. Believe me, there wasn't. When all the businesses opened, I read somebody was quoted in the paper saying, well, let's put parking there. Why don't we have parking there? That caused a great deal of problem. Thank you very much. I'd be happy to answer any of the questions.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak on the matter? And then Judge
Jay Sorensen, 1916 East Kensington. I live on the other side, but I drive through this area a lot, almost every day. And my worry is that I'm in favor of parking, limiting parking to one side. But my fear is for the 2 blocks west of Oakland on Kensington, you have to have 2 drivers at either end agree when they're going to drive through this 2-block section. And it's just, and sometimes, most times it obviously goes well. Sometimes it doesn't, and you have to kind of go through halfway and then pull over in that intersection of Bartlett. And then that other person may or may not start, and if they do, then you wait. It's a real, it's a dance. And it also occurs on the other side of Kensington as well. And so when you're driving through Kensington, Kensington has kind of become a bit of a collector for the neighborhood. And when you go through from the west to the east side of Oakland, you've passed through 4 blocks of very congested traffic. I will observe that the east side, the west side of Kensington gets a whole lot more parking stress than we do on the east side, and especially all throughout the day. On the west side, it starts parking up Wednesday, Thursdays, Friday, and Saturday nights. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My name is Ron Engel. I'm the CFO at Stoll Associates. I don't live in Shorewood, but worked in this fine community for 20 years. I drive. Stoll Associates is retail business operation right on the corner of Kensington and Oakland. I'm just concerned about the parking. You know, we want to be good community citizens. We have 30-some people that work in our facility, and we get a lot of them parking in our own parking spaces. But occasionally we park on in that space between New Hall and Bartlett on Kensington, the exact spot we're talking about. I think it's important for both the residents and the businesses, for quality of life issues, to try to work together in finding a solution. What I heard tonight, the officer say about restricting, maybe losing 1 extra parking spot by the alleyways, to me and representing our employees, I think that would be fine. I'm not in favor of restricting on both sides of the street, though, simply because that space is used. It's not just our business, there's plenty of other businesses. It also seems to me that if there is some extra restrictions near the alley, that would give drivers an opportunity a little bit more opportunity to do that dance, instead of having to park on both ends, stop on both ends of the street. They could pull over slightly in the middle of the street. It allows a little extra space. My observation, I drive that stretch every single day. my observation is people do that dance. It happens all the time. I do that dance. But generally speaking, I've never seen it where it hasn't worked. Generally speaking, drivers are pretty cognizant about giving room and space.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions? All right, is there anybody else that would like to speak on the matter?
My name is Mark Schwartz. I'm at 4484 Woodburn Street, so I'm kind of an observer at some distance from this, but I come through that corridor a lot. My perspective is I think there are two issues. I wasn't really aware of the alley issue, although I think some of the things that have said make sense. I was aware just of the throughput issue, and I noticed after the businesses, and again, I would second what was said. I appreciate them. I think the development was really good, but there was a marked change in that one lane is just not sufficient to deal with the throughput through there. And also I've noted with some amusement since December that you know, the north side is supposed to not be parking, but as the police department knows, that isn't happening. In fact, I've seen an officer out there telling people, you can't park here, and they're kind of like, oh, really? And, you know, so that's the other issue, is that even if the parking is restricted, as it is now on the north side, there's a compliance issue with it, and it seems to be because there's so much pressure to want to park within a couple of blocks to going to the businesses. So that's kind of my perspective on it.
Thank you. Can I just ask a quick question to maybe Leanne? If parking was restricted back to how it was on the south side, so there's no parking on the south side street between Oakland and Kensington, would then we need the winter regulation? Isn't it just when there's two sides that we have to restrict? So the north side can still park during winter?
That would be consistent with other blocks that have year-round no parking.
Okay. Okay. Is there any, I'd like to make a suggestion, but is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak on the matter? Well, thank you for sharing your experiences. So what I'm hearing is this request came in before we actually finalized our prioritization and decided we were going to do a transportation study. I do hear the chief's request, the administration's request, that we don't want to continue on the path of continue putting things before our study is done. My suggestion that I would make, and I'm not making a motion, but it's just my suggestion, is to limit parking on the south side of the street from Oakland to Kensington, with the direction to the administration to kind of hold requests unless it's a major safety issue. I don't know the right wording, but basically to give us some time to do the study after this decision. And because I know there's a lot more of everybody coming to us, and I think we need some time to let our consultants at some point study the traffic patterns at large in the community. And this, of course, Kensington would be material, or I don't know what the classification is, but it is a very heavily used street. And Trustee Corson and Trustee Warren? No, okay, Trustee Warren?
Just for clarification, you said from Oakland to Kensington. I'm assuming you meant from Oakland to Newhall on Kensington.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
Just want to make sure.
And the restriction of parking was on the south side or the north side?
The north. The north.
It's the north side.
So on the north side,
She's
South
proposing
side.
the south side, and then have no, and then allow parking year round on the north.
Correct.
okay, that's the part I was missing,
Correct.
whether it was also the proposal to allow parking year round on the north. Okay.
So that's just a suggestion. I have not made a motion, but anybody on board?
From the alley, from Oakland to the first alley, is that real wide section, that can accommodate parking on both sides and close to the businesses and really take away. I don't know if it's an issue right there. It isn't narrow there. So I would think it would be going, if we were going to restrict it from the first alley west, would be appropriate. And I would be supportive of looking at moving, signing 15 feet back from those alleys where the houses are right up against the sidewalk and the sight line. think there's a situation there. But I would wait for the transportation study on the other, eliminating the parking on one side at this point.
Just Eccles.
I agree that in the immediate future, right now, we should address the safety issue of the exit egress via alleys, pushing that back. I also agree with the statement as far as the 38 feet width of the section in between the Bartlett Alley and Oakland Avenue. But that seems, I drive down there to park, so I don't have the same experience of going through. I hate taking Kensington, probably for a lot of the same reasons you all mentioned here. And it seems to be a lot longer. But anyway, we are spending a significant chunk of change on a circulation study. Coming up, the board, we talked about this at length, and I would be remiss to make a decision this evening without at least consulting the pedestrian